This is the Mariners POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Seattle Mariners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This offense sucks, man. This offense sucks. The Mariners lose by scoring only 2 runs against a terrible Baltimore Orioles pitching staff. They've scored, 5 runs in their past 3 games? 5 runs. Emerson Hancock pitches well, but the offense just can't get anything going at all. Welcome to the Mariners POSTCAST. My name is Hirst. Christopher Crawford to my left here. Appreciate you guys tuning in and joining in our misery because, geez, this one just felt like an old fart from the beginning. And it reminds me so much of 2024, man. It's just like, oh, we're back, except not the elite pitching, although Hancock was pretty good tonight. But we'll talk about another bullpen blow up, sort of. I don't know if you can call it a blow up, but just, screwed it up. Hancock's outing was good, and then we'll talk about this offense, and I think that'll be the majority of today's episode. But Chris Crawford, initial thoughts after a tough one.
I'm going to let Agent Michael Scarn speak for me right now. That sucked, man. That was such a horrible offensive effort after another horrible offensive effort. But by the way, happy belated birthday. I hope you had a wonderful one. I didn't burn the studio down somehow while I was going solo.
Thanks for holding down the fort. Yeah.
You're very, very welcome. It stinks because Emerson Hancock was fantastic tonight. He made one mistake, literally one mistake.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes now. And this is why the person who wrote that this feels like 2024, that's what it feels like right now, that every run the other team scores feels like dagger doesn't even feel like the right word. It feels like just throat slit every single time the run scores. And maybe you're praying that you go to the world's best surgeon to get that throat slit tied together, because it's just not good enough. It's not good enough to have these kind of offensive efforts against a team that I know the broadcast was talking about how much better they're playing. Yeah, they played well against Double-A Montgomery. They played well against the White Sox. Against pretty much everybody else, they've stunk. This is a bad baseball team right now.
Specifically a bad pitching staff.
That's
the thing that's been dominating you.
And that's the thing. And look, Sagano was good last night. I will give a ton of credit to Sagano. He located the entire kitchen sink, and, he's been pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Popovich isn't good. He has good swing and miss stuff, but he has abhorrent command. There's a reason why his ERA, and I know pitcher ERA, blah, blah, blah. But when it's over 5, and if it's over 5 and not like Emerson Hancock, where it's based on one disaster of a start, you're not a great pitcher. And you're certainly someone you should score more than one flipping run against. It's just not good enough.
Yeah, I'm struggling to come up with more superlatives for what this offense is right now. It's just what happened to it. I guess we'll go right into it now, because I think that's the main story. Like, Hancock was good. We'll go through his outing.
Sure.
I think he has a good, at least somewhat of a future in this rotation for now. But the offense, man, we spent the first month, 6 weeks of the season kind of being like, okay, this offense feels different. They're battling. They're making pitchers work. None of them are getting through 6 innings very easily. They're having to, use a bunch of bullpen arms just to get through a game. Even in losses, it was like the guys are battling up there, and it's just the exact opposite now. It just seems like way too many uncompetitive at bats.
Yeah.
It sucks when you have to play one of Jorge Polanco or Mitch Garver right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Because both of those guys are automatic outs.
Yeah.
Solano was getting better. Not anymore. He's an automatic out again. Cole Young, fine. You could tell he's just came up from AAA.
Sure.
He's going through his growing pains. I think he's been great defensively.
Yeah, he's looked really good with the glove.
And that's been something that we've missed at second base for a long time.
No question.
So that's a positive, but he's not doing much with the bat. I'll tell you that. There's not much else besides Big Dumper today. And even Big Dumper has 2 hits. He has 2 Ks as well. Had a little bit of an off day as well, which is weird for him saying that. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. JP, I guess, has been pretty good lately. That's about it.
Sure, the approach from JP was really good tonight. Did get some hittable pitches that he didn't drive, and that's just not JP's game right now. He is clearly just geared for contact unless he gets a sweeper down the middle of the plate. Like, you talk about Julio and Cal. Well, he didn't mention Julio specifically, but like they combined to go 4 for 8 and they get an RBI and a run scored as well. If there's ever been an unimpressive 4 for 8, an RBI from those two, it's that one. And look, Cal got pretty lucky on both of his hits. They just kind of fall into the right spot, and good for him for making contact. Same with Julio, an infield single and then a little blooper. That hit ended up being huge because Randy Arozarena hits a sac fly on that next play. So if the runner doesn't get to third, I think we're talking about a shutout again.
Yeah.
Close to it. Just not good enough. Just not good enough. And it just goes to show you, particularly Big Dumper, but also I'll include Julio in this. When they're not going, this team isn't even close to good enough. If you do not get big efforts from those guys, this is not the Dodgers or the Phillies or the Yankees, where if they don't get production from their stars, you've got a chance to still score 4 to 5 runs. If those guys aren't going, and I mean going, you're getting 1 or 2. You're getting 1 or 2. And now we had a moment where we could say Polanco was part of that. And we had a moment where Rowdy Tellez was kind of part of that. And sure, Tellez hits the home run yesterday. 2 atrocious at-bats tonight. That last at-bat in the 9th, that ball should have been hit 600 freaking feet. It's just not good enough, and it's way, way too star reliant right now.
Yeah, I just I don't know if I want to get in. So one thing that was helping this offense for the first month or so of the season was the bottom of the lineup was hitting. Yeah, and it was the Leo Rivas's who's now been optioned. It's now been it was Ben Williamson for a little bit. It was Miles Mastrobuoni a little bit. JP when he was batting in the 9 hole. But then as soon as you move JP up, Miles Mastrobuoni hasn't been the same player. You've called up Cole Young to try and fix that second base spot. But him and Ben Williamson have just not been good offensive players. They're I'd say borderline elite defensive players as a tandem, and it's made the infield defense look a lot better than I thought it would be.
I would agree with that.
But offensively, it's just not it right now for those. And I understand they're 2 rookies. They're 2 guys that probably shouldn't be everyday players on a playoff team.
Yeah. Oh, I would agree with that. I mean, I guess Young is one I could make an argument for just because how good he was in Tacoma and his prospect pedigree.
And he's only played in 6 games?
Yeah, it's a very small sample.
Yeah.
I have been concerned. Now, I will also point this out to everybody. And Ty and Cole, we can speak more on this a little bit during their show as well. Real quick, want to remind everybody to please donate to their Feeding America.
Oh, yes.
Please, please, please. That's such a wonderful thing that they do, and it helps such a great cause. Link in the description. Please, please, please go check that out. Young has struggled at every level that to begin his career. Every single level he's joined, there has been an adjustment period. That is far from unheard of. That's a lot of prospects that I can tell you who are very, very good major league players right now who have scuffled to start. Am I concerned, though, based on the small sample? Yeah, he doesn't appear to be making great contact with anything. I think he hit a decent little line drive foul today, but outside of that, it's been mostly bloopers. The approach has been fine. And again, the defense, I think it's worth pointing out how good Ryan Bliss was playing defensively for this team before his injury. It's nice to have that. Only all due respect to Ryan Bliss. I love my big beefy boys and I love my short kings too. Cole Young has infinitely more offensive upside than Ryan Bliss. Infinitely. That's slightly hyperbolic, but there's no doubt he didn't get the job done tonight. The bottom of the lineup was really bad. Really, really bad tonight. And again, it just goes to show you that this lineup isn't good enough to overcome so-so games at best from Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah, and Drew, Young only has 13 at bats. Guys, gotta give him a break. Yeah, we're not drawing any conclusions here. I'm just
real quick. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
the Daily Show. It's a daily show.
We're observing what we saw. Yeah,
we only recap what we see, and there's no denying that Cole Young's one of the top 40 prospects in baseball, almost unanimously, and has a almost assuredly bright future in this league. I say that as a Seattle Mariner fan, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to see him not being at least an average regular, but we can only talk about what we've seen tonight, and what we saw tonight wasn't good enough.
Yeah. Completely agree. Julio goes 2 for 4, has an infield single and then kind of a, I don't want to say bloop single, but just to center field. But I mentioned this to you before we went live. It's the eye test for me right now. I don't get a lot of confidence when he gets to the plate, especially when he gets in a big situation like he did in the 7th inning, and then, or maybe it was the 7th inning, and then I don't know, his that's when he kind of grounded out and they called JP out at home. So I'm just curious to what your thoughts are, because he's going to draw attention wherever he goes. I get that he has a value defensively and value on the base paths.
No doubt.
At this point, the team needs the bat at this point. And it's kind of hard, at least for me, to watch. He seems to have a hole in his swing on the inside. Anything hard and inside, he just can't get his barrel to. He can't turn on that inside pitch as well as I've seen, maybe like a big dumper, obviously. But I'm curious on what your kind of evaluation of him, because I know you're a big fan of his. So let's just kind of open that up a little.
Yeah. And real quick, most people are a pretty big fan of his. Like, this isn't like me being like the overwhelming consensus in Major League Baseball is still that this guy is pretty darn good. I wanted to ask you real quick, since you brought it up, was that indisputably out on JP Crawford at home plate?
I don't think so.
Either
but it seemed they did it quickly. Like they challenged it, and it was like 15 seconds before they came back and said it was overturned. So maybe they got an angle in, where is it, New York, that we didn't. But to me, it seemed pretty dang close.
It was really close to me, and why make the whole indisputable thing if that's not the case? If it's going to be a judgment call, then just tell me it's a judgment call. Don't tell me that it has to be indisputable, because that's clearly not true. Now, on to Julio. My big concern with Julio Rodriguez is he's too afraid of striking out right now. And what's weird to say for a guy who struck out 4 times over the last few games, I think it's actually 5 because he struck out tonight. He hasn't had an extra base hit since May 27th. That's a lot of baseball games. Now, in between that, there's a lot of 2-hit games. There's only 1 hitless game in between that.
Yeah.
But Julio Rodriguez just looks like he's not comfortable driving the baseball. And to your point about the inside pitch, I don't think it's a hole in his swing. I think it's a hole in his approach. Okay. Because what he's trying to do there, and it will look like it's late. It's not late, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
It's not late. It's what he's trying to do is he's trying to inside out that baseball, and so that he can drive it to the opposite field, because that's where Julio Rodriguez feels most comfortable driving the baseball, is opposite field. Well, the whole reason that Julio Rodriguez turned around last year is because he stopped doing that. Yeah. He started trying to turn on the ball and hitting it over the fence. Like, Julio Rodriguez isn't the reason this offense is bad, in my opinion. And to your point, the situation, I don't have a ton of confidence in Julio when he comes up to the plate in late inning situations. I'm not like, woe is me. I'm more excited. I'm hoping that he can do something. Of course. But anybody who's hoping that he's not going to do something probably has a miserable life, but that's okay. Being miserable is okay sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
But the whole thing for me with Julio Rodriguez is, when he's at his best, yes, he's using the entire field, and there's nowhere you could pitch him when he's at his best. But when he's really at his best, and when he feels comfortable driving the baseball down the left field line or over the left field fence, and right now, to me, Julio Rodriguez doesn't look comfortable doing that.
Yeah, and I wonder if, like, we all kind of praised the approach that Kevin Seitzer and Edgar Martinez brought to this, like, okay, stay up the middle and then go the other way. And for someone like Julio, who thrived on just like ambushing and attacking anything that he saw,
sure,
that kind of took that away from him so that he wouldn't strike out as much.
Right.
I wonder if it's had that effect where it's like, okay, he's trying to go the opposite way with everything now.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think that there is no doubt in my mind that strikeouts were in Julio's head. And I think we're all a little complicit here, because we complained so much about strikeouts. Wait, and don't get me wrong. I don't like strikeouts. Better things happen when you put the ball in play most of the time. You avoid a double play
plays.
if you strike out. You avoid a runner getting thrown out at third, blah, blah, blah. But they're just outs. What we were concerned about as Mariner fans is too many people were getting out.
Yeah.
It just so happened they were strikeouts, but too many people were getting out. I don't care if Julio Rodriguez strikes out 170 times. If he's hitting 30 to 35 homers, hell, I'll go for 25. And on pace right now, he's at like 22, 23, something like that. It's not way off. But
that's not the Julio we expected, though.
No,
that's not the 800 OPS guy that had his rookie.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Year.
The big thing for me for Julio is not just getting back to those 25 to 30 homer rates, more doubles, more balls down the line, putting the ball into the gaps. And look, infield hits for Julio Rodriguez are infinitely more valuable than any other player on the Seattle Mariners because it gives him a chance to steal second, steal third. He produced that win in that extra inning game. The ability
on Sunday,
it's a chopper, but he steals second, and he steals second so easily he makes it to third as easily as possible. But he's got to start driving the baseball more consistently.
I completely agree. Just like he's turned into a singles hitter once again, which is the thing we saw last year. And it's great that he's doing that and striking out less.
Yep.
But he's not walking anymore, which kind of those are the two things you kind of associate with putting the ball in play a little bit. So you just got to drive the baseball. If he starts to do that, I think we're in good shape. Okay, let's go to Hancock. But first, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some Monarch Money. If you ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances.
Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. And Anders, I'm going to ask you to stop saying that. Stop saying it's just a budgeting app.
Okay, I will.
It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. You know what the Monarch Money app is? It's Cal Raleigh, because not only do you get great offense, you also get great defense behind the plate. So not only are you getting something that's helping you save money, you're getting something that's saving your time because you can do it all with one app.
Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use Locked On MLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code Locked On MLB for half off your first year. And now let's talk about some Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades. Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online.
That's right. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a company inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need, delivered fast from coast to coast.
Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage, so now it's your turn.
Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clips. Plus, use promo code ACEH5, ACEH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com.
All right, we talked a little bit on the offensive side of the ball. Hopefully they can start to turn it around recently. But unfortunately, because of how bad the offense was, we kind of had to push the lead by how good Emerson Hancock was tonight. What went into his start tonight? What impressed you?
So much. And this was probably the best stuff I have seen from Emerson Hancock. Great. And look, he was really good against Boston too, but even in that start, and this is a little bit revisionist history, there were still some moments where it's like, oh, he got away with a little one here.
Yeah.
The only pitch he could have gotten away with tonight, he didn't. It was absolutely mollywopped by Adley Rutschman, who must have taken to heart what I was saying about him no longer being as good as Big Dumper. It's still true, but
yeah, it is.
He showed that there is still that raw power in there. That ball
Yes.
was absolutely mollywopped. Outside of that, Emerson Hancock was dialing. He was once again 96 to 97 miles per hour with his fastball. He threw some really good sweepers today. He was hitting corners. He was changing hitters' eye levels a lot tonight. That high outside strike was one that Baltimore really struggled with. I think Baltimore also struggled with an inconsistent umpire because, of course, they did. So did the Seattle Mariners. Give me the robots before you give me air.
Apparently it's coming next year. Trying to.
Yeah, I sure hope so. But Emerson Hancock was fantastic tonight. I think I also have to give credit to Gabe Spire. I thought he did a nice job. Does issue that walk. That pitch from Carlos Vargas was atrocious. Yeah, it's a breaking ball right in the hitter's path, and it ends up being the reason you lose this game. Now, you can also say the reason they lose this game is they only score 2 runs, right?
Yeah.
But a better pitch there from Carlos Vargas, and you get out of that inning. You absolutely get out of that inning, but that's a breaking ball to Heston Kjerstad, a talented but player who's been inconsistent at best. It could have been Keston Hira hitting at the plate. Boy, that's a shout out. By the way, the fact there was a Heston Kira and Kirsten see, I can't do it. It's so ridiculous.
Heston Kjerstad.
That they were playing
Heston Hira. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous that they were playing at the exact same time. But yeah, as Brett brings up, that's an 0-2 pitch. That is a 40 grade breaking ball that just breaks right into the middle and perfectly into Kjerstad's swing path. It's got to be better. It's got to be better.
Yeah, to me, with Vargas, the issue was the 4-pitch walk to Kobe Mayo. You were brought in to go get the righty out, and a righty who's struggled a lot, especially against righties, and you can't locate a single pitch. No. And I think that's what led to him using the breaking ball with an 0-2, because it's like, I can't locate my sinker right now. No. So wasn't good. This is kind of the bumps with him because his command is just not there. He has good stuff. He throws 97, 98 with movement.
Lots of movement. Yeah.
The secondary pitches still are not really there. And his command really isn't there. And sometimes he can, just dominate a lineup if they struggle with that one pitch. But like tonight, when you have a 4-pitch walk and then give up that triple, also shouldn't have been a triple. Dylan Moore, just you're not a Gold Glover. I'm sorry, not in my head.
I'm so glad you reminded me to bring that up, because if Leody Taveras is in right field in that situation, that ball gets fielded so much quicker. Dylan Moore just doesn't have great instincts in the outfield, and a better throw. And a better throw. There's no question that Dylan Moore just flat out cannot throw. Boy, there are some weak arms on the Seattle Mariners. I was just thinking about that. Polanco just flat out can't throw now.
Yeah.
Cole Young is not going to be known for his cannon of an arm. JP Crawford ranks among the worst shortstops in baseball in arm strength.
Even Ben Williamson doesn't really seem like he has like a cannon at third.
It's not a cannon. It's certainly good enough at third, but it's not the strongest throwing arm is probably Julio. Is it Julio? Big Dumper has
Leo. I put Leody in that category as well.
Okay, Leody,
he can throw a cannon every once in a while, but Randy absolutely not. Looks like he lobs it in every single time he gets the ball.
It doesn't look like he's comfortable throwing the baseball.
No.
But did make a terrific catch tonight that helped keep the 1-0 game. So that was nice to see. What were we even talking about?
The Dylan Moore play on defense.
Oh yeah, that's a play that needs to be made, but it's also a play that should have never happened, because don't walk Kobe Mayo. Kobe Mayo probably has a bright future in his league, one of the best power hitting minor leaguers in a long, long time. But you can't walk Kobe Mayo.
Yeah, I'm with you there. We're at that point of the night, ladies and gentlemen, after another loss. I thought the vibes were turning around. I had my birthday little outing. George Kirby.
Mayonnaise? You get it? It's like mayonnaise. So like,
oh really? I didn't catch that last time.
So if you take away the mayo, hold the mayo. Golly, that's good. That's like really good.
Remember that one. All
Ken
right.
Tremendous, if you're watching this, I'm willing to come right for one of your shows.
Oh man. Well, Owen makes a good point. This makes me miss Robeson really. Yeah. I mean, those are two guys that are better in both offensively and defensive situations. And it kind of reminded me, because I totally forgot about them at this point. That's one of the reasons why this lineup is so short right now.
Sure.
But man, your offense has to do better against probably one of the worst pitching staffs in the whole league, which is one of the reasons why that the Baltimore is as bad as they are right now and have already fired their manager. So you've already lost the series. So please don't go out and get swept at home against this team. Please don't. Like, just don't. Brian Woo's up tomorrow against, I mean, arguably their best pitcher, Zach Eflin.
I might go with Sagano at this point, but Eflin is probably the most talented of those pitchers, and starting to get a little better. But
I mean, we all know he's gonna go 7 innings, one run, 2 hits against the Mariners tomorrow. So hopefully, me saying that makes it incorrect and doesn't happen. So
here's hoping.
All right, guys, really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I love doing this postcast every single night, having people to kind of share these feelings with and kind of get through the day makes it awesome.
It's great.
Once again, check out and please donate to the Food Lifeline that Kobe and Ty are doing. They have such a cool program going. Check out any of our socials, both on Locked On, myself, Crawford, Ty, Colby. They all have it all up there. So it makes a huge difference. Even if you can't donate anything, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and that will help us out a ton. So really appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your night. And thank you so much once again, Crawford, for helping me out while I went to the game yesterday. So really means a lot to me.
So it's like mayo, like it's what you put on a sandwich, and like people say hold the mayo, but like in a baseball term, it'd be like holding mayo off getting to the base.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Like